Welcome viewers back to the PI show. We're at that time of the show we've got Kathy's mailbag. Good evening, Kathy, how are you?
Good, thank you, Tony. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Kathy.
Good evening, viewers. Good to be back.
Are you squirming with the information you listened to
You know,
before?
I'm actually a little bit shocked, and it's more the statistics. You've kind of freaked me out. To be fair, I think that's actually really, really scary to think that in another 10 years or so that we could have so many people ill or have
The sad thing
from
about it is that I actually acted for a fellow who had lung cancer from asbestos, and he said the pain was that excruciating, it was unbearable.
Look, you don't wish that upon anyone. It's all you can do is just try to take care and try to prevent from having it caused. But sometimes
it's
you just
a
don't
nasty
know.
disease.
Absolutely.
A nasty disease.
Very insidious, and there's nothing you can do. Once you get it,
And you also feel sorry for the families as well, because you don't want to lose your loved one to a disease like this. So we hope that everyone takes care out there and it doesn't happen to many people. So, but we actually have some interesting questions that are surrounding this topic tonight, which is good. So I'm just going to go to the first question now. Dear PI Show, my brother contracted Legionnaires disease. He was under intensive care for 10 days and almost died. He's still recovering and unable to work. He had been advised he can't make a claim, but the source of where he contracted the disease was determined to be at the workplace, being a faulty air conditioning unit at work. My question to you is, who is then responsible and is it worthwhile pursuing? And this is from Leanne in Doncaster. Now, John, it's from work,
Kathy,
not a very good disease. This is very sad to hear.
Again, Legionnaires disease is another nasty disease, Kathy. But if we go to the work cover basics, Leanne, it's an injury sustained in the course of employment. A work cover claim should be lodged. You've got then weekly payment of compensation benefits, medical-like expenses benefits, and lump sum compensation. And Tony,
John, a lot of people do recover from Legionnaires, unlike asbestos.
They do. However, as you know, Tony, they can be in hospital for like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
So,
and they might have permanent damage to their lungs,
yes,
which gives rise to other problems. So,
yes,
is it a serious injury?
Neurological. Well, if the injury is permanent, yes.
Okay.
I would say
I've done cases for people with asthma, developed asthma in the workplace because of dust, and they've been serious injuries.
Yeah, no.
So you can sue the employer.
Inhaling dust and fumes and that type of injury, it is a permanent injury, and you've got lump sum entitlement. So, Leanne, you should see. I think your brother, should see a lawyer, a work cover lawyer, about this condition.
And we also wish Leanne's brother a speedy recovery as well. We hope that he gets better. Moving on to question 2, to the PI Show. I'm a handyman. A couple of weeks ago, I fixed a series of terraces for a friend. I noticed that I was having problems breathing whilst on the job. The insulation was quite old and it was very dusty, which is not unusual. 3 months later, I still have trouble breathing, and from about 2 weeks ago, I'm on medication to stop a lung infection. Some days I finish up early because of the wheezing. What can I do, as I believe it started from helping a mate with his terraces? And this is from Patricia in Thomastown. Now,
Well, his fallback's on his friend. He's going to have to go and speak to his friend to see if he's insured, and if he's insured, should put in a claim.
sorry, I made an error. It's actually from Patrick in Thomastown. I do apologise for
okay.
that. But that sounds pretty
He should,
terrible.
He should go back to his friend and see if he's insured. If he is, should lodge a claim. And his friends exposed him to the dust, notwithstanding the fact that he volunteered to help. So I would have thought potentially there is a claim there.
But would you sue your friend,
facts.
Tony? I mean...
Well, he's insured.
He's insured,
Yeah.
and look, his friend does have a duty of care to him, doesn't he, Tony?
Of course he does.
Look, I just hope there's no asbestos issues from this dust that is...
Who knows
or
what
any
it,
permanent impairment.
Who knows what is inhaled? We don't know, do we?
No,
we just
don't
do not know.
So it's a bit early, but at this stage, you need to seek medical attention, and you need to have these matters documented. As we all know, Tony, these type of conditions can arise 5-10 years later.
Of course they
20
can.
years later.
But also, from dusty conditions, you do develop things like asthma. And that's nasty.
Yeah.
Wheezing and trouble breathing and whatever else that flows from that.
So look, in the end, you do need to seek not only medical advice, but legal advice.
You probably want a public liability lawyer in this case.
Exactly.
That's it. So get advice. It's important.
Okay. Well, we hope that's helped, Patrick, and thank you for writing in. Moving on to Fred from Werribee. This is a very tragic situation. Fred suffered a large electric shock while working at a well-known factory. He has been told by a specialist that his bulging disc condition was highly caused by the electric shock incident. Fred was advised that he would require long-term pain management. He has had 2 lots of cortisone epidurals, which provided him with 4 days of relief. Can he claim compensation, is Fred's question. John, electric shock.
He's got a case exactly like this.
I do,
You
Tony.
do have
I
a
do,
case,
Tony,
but
and
that's terrible.
It's a shocking situation. It's a nasty injury. Fred, well, thank God that you're actually alive, because a lot of people that suffer these electric shocks actually die from the electrocution. So I'm glad you're alive, Fred, but I actually know exactly what you're going through, in the sense that your injuries to your spine now are devastating. You should, hopefully you've been seeing neurological surgeons, orthopedic surgeons regarding your spine. Also, you have work cover entitlements. There's no doubt about that, Tony.
And
Yeah,
there's
I'm
also,
pretty sure about
there could also be psychological injuries, Fred, that you're
will be.
facing as well. So that's obviously
There will
seek
be.
medical
I
treatment.
did a
for
case
it
similar
too.
to this a while ago, where the young fellow went back to work, but we did sue for pain and suffering and loss of enjoyment of life and got a settlement there.
Yeah.
So it was defective wiring again, and he sustained a nasty electric shock and it threw him.
Exactly. Look, Fred, you're entitled to weekly payments, medical and like expenses, but you have lump sum entitlements and common law damages. Fred, at the same time, make sure you can gather as much evidence for the lawyer about how this occurred. Because you'll find, Tony...
There would have been an investigation by WorkSafe, you would have thought.
Hopefully, and notices may have been issued, improvement notices may have been issued by WorkSafe, because I'm sure there'll be an issue as to liability, won't there, Tony?
Oh, guarantee.
And of course, any witnesses that, if anyone witnessed
Exactly.
these situations,
Yeah,
they might have seen or know
what's-
about the circumstances.
What's said at the time is pretty important, so you'd like to know if there was anyone around, you'd want to get a statement off them. Because it's very hard to get this information afterwards, because people, their evidence gets tainted or they forget, you know,
That's right.
at the time.
And they might also be aware of if there was actually a problem with the equipment that he was
The
using.
wiring or-
That's right. So,
So-
it's always
so-
good to have someone else's opinion if they know.
Fred, seek legal advice, please.
Well, we hope that you also feel a little bit better as well, and thank you for writing in, Fred, with your question. Now, that's all the time we have for tonight, unfortunately, viewers, but thank you again for writing in, and we urge you to keep writing to us at our new email address, which is info@thepishow.com, and of course, visit us at our website, www.thepishow.com. Thank you for writing in, and thank you for having
night,
us.
Thanks,
viewers.
Kathy. Thanks, John. Thanks, viewers. Stay safe. And I think that's the end of our 7th series. So stay tuned for the next series.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, viewers.